Hello guys, in today's video I want to talk about motivation and why motivation fails, and how you can ride the wave of motivation while it lasts. If you are the kind of person that you are highly motivated whenever you start a new venture, but you notice that along the line the motivation fizzles out and you give up on that thing, then this video is for you. So I will tell you, how to ride the wave of motivation, how to get the hard work done when you're motivated, and how to build systems that will make you consistent over time so that you won't give up. So yeah, let's get right into the video. The first thing I'm going to talk about is why motivation fails. The first reason why motivation fails is because of something I call the novelty effect, right? So this is what happens when you start something new, right? And your brain starts releasing some feel-good chemicals like dopamine. It makes you want to keep going. So basically the idea behind the novelty effect is that whenever you start something new, right, your brain always supports you, like your system supports you by releasing some hormones that makes you want to continue, right? You are happy, you are very optimistic, you believe that you can conquer the world, right? That's your brain telling you that I got you. But the problem with this is that it does not last, right? Over time the novelty effect wears off, and before you know it, the work starts becoming boring. And when does work start becoming boring? The work start becoming boring when you start repeating the same thing over and over again. Your dopamine level starts dropping and the work starts becoming like a chore. That novelty effect starts wearing off, and that's when people start saying that I'm no longer motivated. I know this work is no longer interesting. I want to give up. So that's the first reason why motivation fails. The second reason is the fact that motivation is an emotional response, not a logical response. Motivation is strictly driven by your emotions, right? And the problem with emotions is that they are not constant. Emotions change over time, right? You can be happy right now and you remember something and you'll be sad. Like, emotions change like the weather. I'm not able to compare emotions with the weather. Emotions are more fluid than the weather. So emotions are not reliable. Emotions change. Emotional responses are not logical responses, and motivation is an emotional response. And as I've said earlier, when the tasks start getting repetitive, start getting boring, right, you start feeling terrible about it. So basically there are some languages you should watch out for. Like, if you notice yourself saying that, oh, I no longer feel good about this thing is already getting boring, it's no longer interesting, all these things are emotional words, they are emotional terminologies, right? So that means the emotions associated with this thing is already wearing off, right? And when these emotions start wearing off, you are left with boring repetitive tasks, and before you know it, you get bored and you want to give up. The last reason why motivation fails is because of the opportunity cost. So basically, this is what this means. The moment you start something new and your brain perceives it as easy, right, your brain encourages you and your brain drives you to continue doing that. But the moment the work starts getting repetitive and you start doing it over time, right, and it start getting boring, your brain will start interpreting it as, you know what, the effort needed to actually continue this thing is no longer worth it, right? So your brain will start telling you that this thing is no longer worth it, and before you know it, you start thinking that maybe it's not really worth it. Like, I'm putting in hours on hours into this thing, yet I'm not seeing any results, right? So the effort is no longer equal to the perceived reward. So before you know it, you lose motivation. The second part of this video is what to do with motivation. You've gotten a new idea, you've gotten a beautiful idea, right? It is $1 million idea, it's $1 billion idea, it will change the world, it will solve problems, it is like the world will love it, everybody will love it, right? You've gotten this idea and you're highly motivated. What should you do with this motivation? When you are highly motivated, the first thing I tell people to do is do the heavy lifting. And what does this mean? When you have an idea, don't just dive right into it and start doing it, right? When you're highly motivated, do research. Like, do I really want to commit to this thing? In my last video, I talk about visions, long-term vision and all that. Does this align with my long-term vision? I think you should watch that video on visions. I will link it somewhere in this video. Basically, what you want to ask yourself is that, do I want to commit to this thing? Is this what I see myself doing long-term? I'm not really talking about how to make these decisions of what you should do, but you can go and watch that video. I talked about it very much in that video. But basically, you need to make a decision, right? And that decision will be informed through a good, thorough research, right? So when you make that decision, now you have to do the heavy lifting. Like right now, I'm currently learning machine learning because of my master's. And when I started, I was highly motivated to start learning it. But thank God I knew about this framework, right, before then. So what I did was, I was not so good at statistics. So the first thing I did was I took a crash course on statistics, right? So when the motivation was I did the hardest thing, which was learning statistics, right? That's the first thing. Do the heavy lifting. Do the hardest things immediately, right? And before you do the hardest things, as I've said, make sure you do research and you decide if you actually want to focus on this thing long term, if you actually want to commit to this thing. The second thing is build systems. The reason why you need to build systems is because you want to remove friction. So frictions are things that make the work difficult to do and that will encourage you to give up very soon. So once you build systems will do the opposite of what frictions will do. Systems will encourage you to continue doing the work. It can be as easy as having a schedule or coming up with a routine. Have it on your schedule, plan it, time block for it, block out time for it, right? Create your personal space in a way that you get the triggers to actually do the things you love doing. When I wanted to start journaling like 2 years ago, I had to buy a physical journal and I put it beside my bed. So every night when I want to go to sleep, right, I see it. So it is very easy. No matter how tired I am, I'll just roll over on the mattress, open it and write. I can just scribble 2 or 3 lines and that's it. But right now, I was able to do that consistently for 2 years because my journal was always beside my bed. So right now, I'm so much into the habit right now that is already part of me. I do it every night before I go to sleep. So just build systems that encourage this new thing you are trying to do. The third thing is this: build barriers to quitting, right? Make sure it is difficult for you to quit. That's just what I mean. There are so many ways by which you can make something difficult for you to quit. The first one is be accountable to someone, right? So whenever you want to do something, you don't want to quit, be accountable to someone who can hold you responsible. The second thing is commit financially. That thing works. A lot of people say it, and I've tried it and it works. When you commit financially to something, you see it through. Another way by which you can make it difficult for you to stop is to say no to other opportunities, right? So I mentioned something in my previous video that if an opportunity comes before you or someone brings an opportunity to you and immediately you hear it, you don't go wow, say no to it. I think you should watch that video. I will add it to my description. If you keep saying yes to many things, you will lose sight of where you're actually trying to go. And the last thing is what I call motivational artifacts. So create motivational artifacts. So motivational artifacts are things you see that actually encourage you to keep going. These things remind you why you started in the first place, why you can't afford to give up. And for me, one thing that has worked for me are sticky notes, right? So if you come into my room, you will think I'm a crazy person. I have sticky notes everywhere, right? I'm in a new hostel now, so that's kind of different. I'm not the only one in the room. But my old room, I had sticky notes everywhere. You would think I'm a crazy person. So, and that is a way that I keep myself motivated. Another thing that I've seen a lot of people do, I've not tried it, but I've seen people do it and they swear by it, is what is called a vision board. Like, it's a very popular thing, a vision board. So basically, a vision board is just like a bunch of pictures and text that shows the kind of life you are trying to build, the kind of goal you are trying to set. So basically, if you have a fitness goal right now, you have a fitness goal. So your vision board will be pictures of people that are ripped. That's what will be on your vision board and all that. A vision board will be a visual reminder of what you are actually optimizing for. If you can do all these things, I can assure you, you'll be able to ride the wave of motivation. So I think, as I always do, I always add one bonus tip, which is, and the bonus tip for today's video is grit. Grit is the ability to keep going no matter what. It is something that can be learned, right? Maybe I'll make a video to talk in depth about grit and how it can help you never give up and never stop trying. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.